more than 50% of most pulls are going to be worse than that relic to draw. Okay, so Japan has a festival going on, just as we do. Kind of predictable, since all our festivals usually line up at the end of every third month. Which makes this 6 months into the future. Well, that's you negators. You called it a dark day in Final Fantasy Record Keeper history, which it is most certainly not. Let's see. Oh yeah, so since Japan is 6 months ahead of us, this makes this the stuff that, well, not the stuff that we're gonna see, but the stuff that debuts in this festival is stuff that we're likely going to see in our festival at the end of June. I just will offer a disclaimer right away, and probably midway through, and probably at the end. This stuff is very far away, and I don't think it makes sense for this to affect the way you pull for now and for a while yet. Not only do we know that this is 6 months away, but we also know that there's going to be a gap between the last event that took place in Japan, which is Final Fantasy I, and this festival. So there are events that will happen that we don't even know of yet that will happen before this festival happens. So it's just absolutely do not get hyped. There's no reason to get hyped for something this far away. And we'll try to go over and see if there's anything here that actually affects the current state of the game, which probably won't. So, Banner 1. We've got 5 6 stars. This is actually not new. The next festival that we will have at the end of March also has 5 6 stars on the banner. And right away we have 2 chains and 3 USBs. Ramza's Chain Soul Break is Activate Holy Chain, Party Attack 50%, and Large Holy Boost. So it's very similar to the Zac Chain. Just look at the way Zac Chain is now. And just instead of the sometimes useless critical damage 50% that it has, remove that and just add on an elemental boost instead, which matches the elemental of the chain, which is good in every single situation. So all of these chains are kind of boring, but they are very good. And I personally don't believe that they are so good that they make our chains bad. I feel very confident in saying that. I think, at worst, they're about equal or only slightly stronger than our Quick Cast 2 chains. Ramza does have Night 5, so he's able to actually add to the chain other than just with Banishing Strike. But chances are you may not be using your Ramza for that. It's just nice that he has the option in case he doesn't have anybody to entrust to, or use, Affliction Break on or whatever. So anyway, Ramza and Seifer get the new chains for physical. Holy and Dark. And they both do that thing. Holy Boost and Dark Boost. A different trait of these chains is they're kind of a little bit of a power creep, is that our chains cap out at 99, while these chains cap out at 150, or 149, I don't know which, it doesn't really matter. Yep, someone already mentioned that. negators. The other 3 6-stars on the banner, we have Alara USB. So she is going to be a playable character starting at this festival. And like I was saying earlier, she gets... I honestly think she's the best healer in the game. But that... we have plenty of time to see whether that actually, means anything. If this character were in our game right now, she would be the best healer in the game. 6 months from now, dunno. But what this USB does is a 0 cast time Kiraga Medica. That's fine. Party quick cast 2, and that's not just quick cast 2. That's high quick cast 2. So that's a ×3 cast speed for everybody in the party for 2 turns, which is... I mean, that just by itself is awesome. That matches what Realm and Aphmau were able to do right now. And now we add in this. This is a new effect called Regenga that has a 4-second duration. But it ticks every 2 seconds. So at default duration, it ticks twice. Each tick is a 2,000 regen. Here's the best part. For every 200 mind that you have, you gain more seconds. Enough seconds to make it worth more ticks. So with a 400 mind, which is a very respectable and easy to hit mind stat for a healer, it will last 8 seconds instead of 4. That means 4 ticks of 2,000 health every 2 seconds. Well, 1 tick of 2,000 health every 2 seconds. And let's say you have Onion Knight and his USB 1 in your team. Onion Knight's USB 1 is a Sage Mode USB, and it buffs the party's mind by 30%. Which means that you're now looking at the possibility of having 600 mind. Which means 10 sec... Or, sorry, yeah, whatever. Another 2 seconds and a 1 more tick of regen. So she doesn't need to heal. She doesn't need to heal for like 10 seconds. And that's a really nice thing because she is a bard. And she has an LMR that matches Sarah's with a low chance to additionally heal party a small amount, 25 potency medica when she uses a bard ability. So she can use bard abilities every turn instead of healing. She doesn't actually need to heal with her USB because her USB is a powerful heal and then it provides another powerful heal for another 8 to 10 seconds. This is along with adding Quick Cast 2 to the entire party. I will be surprised if we get to this point in the game in June and she is not the best healer in the entire game. And it's not even just best healer for physical team, best healer for mage team. It's best healer for every team because high quick cast 2. And there are abilities that bards can use to augment physical teams as well. And remember, if she's using it every turn, then she has a chance to medica. So, yeah. That's pretty gross. That's a really, really disgusting USB. Tyra's USB 3 is well known. Maybe not well known. Tyra's USB 3 is Heiska, Pratekka, Shelga, and Wall. All in one. It's good. I think it sounds better than it is, but we'll see. It is super wall. I mean, if you value wall at all in the game currently, I'm a little biased because I made a pact to stop using wall. Well, outside of the RW inside Magicites. I made a pact to stop using wall, so it's fallen out of favor for me. But if you have gain any value from wall at all, this is still a good USB. And Orlando's USB, which I've heard is pretty good, is our 5th 6-star on the banner. But the stuff not in bold is stuff that is not debuted here, so it's, you know, it's subject to change. So pay a hell of a lot less attention to this stuff than you would the stuff in boldface, because that's new. So moving into the Burst Soul Break session, we have 5 of them? Yeah. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So there's 5 bursts, and Alara's burst is a Last Stand Medica. Really nice. It's an improvement, at least in the entry, over Realms, and it matches Penella's Burst Soul Break 2. Here's the interesting part, is that if you ever have a turn where you don't need to heal with Alara, it actually, her command 1 turns into something really nice, which is a self-mine 20% buff and a quick cast 3 to herself. So it's kind of like the Afmao and the Unibursts right now, where you kind of waste a turn, less so Afmao, to make her command 2 stronger. And that's exactly what we see here. Is she grants herself quick cast 3, which not only makes her command 2 stronger, it makes any ability that she would cast stronger. It also means she can self-buff and then nuke 3 times with Holy. True, but that's going to be some pretty poor damage, I think. Unless, you know, you got a Holy Chain going or something. Yeah. But again, she does have Regenga. I don't know. If I don't have that Regenga going, there's no way I'm sacrificing Aurora, because she's your healer. There's no reason why you would bring someone this weak to inflict damage. Yeah, so I'm not buying that. Okay, so Penel BSB2, another Last Stand Medica. Celeste BSB2, High Runic, Sephiroth BSB2. I'll take all those that I can get, and woo, Deuce BSB. I like that as well. But, again, those are old stuff. Already talked about Lara's LMR, and Seifer's LMR is good. Start battle with Endark. You did 2 pulls, Bossa? How did they go? I hope they went well. Well. Yeah, I think I'm going to, Adia. I need to find one of her, a sprite where she's holding the flute while she, you know, does the BSB thing. Well, congratulations, Bossa. I hope you liked it. Oh, VVBSB2 is probably a better pull than Galoof's USB. You 100 gem the chain? Congratulations, Oracle. So anyway, Seifer's LMR is good. Start battle with Endark. Yeah, I know Seifer has a bad legend dive, but he's still going to be a good character with his chain and his LMR. Yeah, but do you have to pay gems for that selection, Jowlin? And what else is on there to compete with it? Tyro LMR is Instacast 2 to Tyro. Very good for him. And Orlando LMR is 25% chance to dual cast Darkness or Night abilities. Just broken. You just have to do submissions? Oh, that's nice. Alright, moving on to Baronet 2, we have what looks like a completely fire banner. And they did it right this time with Lena's BSB2. It's a minor ice resist. Why it's on our ice banner, I have no idea. Ice resist should be on a fire banner, because Lena is now a healer that, well, theoretically you would want to bring to a fire team. But anyway, the 6 USBs, we only have 2 new ones. instead of the 3 on the first banner. And they both belong to Gilgamesh. Thank goodness Gilgamesh is not going to be a laughingstock anymore. I don't know if he's going to be a top tier character outside of his chain. With his chain, then yeah, obviously he is. I don't know how I feel about the USB. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the USB yet. But Gilgamesh finally becomes an actual character. Greg, not garbage. Absolutely. He gets the second physical fire chain. And his USB 2, 10 single target fire non-elemental, end fire, self-X mode, no questions asked. The X mode, no questions asked, is self-attack plus 30% and chase samurai abilities with 1 or 4 or 6 or 10 single target fire, non-elemental physical damage, and number of hits chosen randomly. I believe somebody did say that it's a 25% chance for each, which would make this very similar to the Bart's chase. Now, unlike Bart's chase, Gilgamesh does not get ×2 cast speed and is only single elemental. But he does get end fire, so that makes up for a little bit of it. I like it personally. I definitely like the chases more than I like the quick cycles. If we assume that the multiplier on these attacks are the same as Bart's, where it normalizes at 5 hits for a 2.0 multiplier, which means each hit would be a 0.4. If each hit is a 0.4, that makes the 25% chance to get a 10 hit a 4.0 attack. That's pretty gigantic. So that'll be a nice thing for Gilgamesh to have, but absolutely the thing that's going to make him one of the better fire characters in the game is going to be his chain. So that's the 2 new things. Also, what appeared here would be Terra's USB, and Bart's USB. Pretty good array of stuff. Terra's flash art shows up. I didn't see any flash arts on the first banner. So that takes a LMR slot. There's only 3 LMR here. That's unfortunate. Definitely would prefer to not see either of these or this. These 3 bursts could totally have been replaced instead of an LMR. That stinks. Like Zell, if you want a 4th LMR to put on here, have Zell and remove Lena's BSB. I don't know why it's here. Anyway, Gilgamesh BSB 2, end fire burst mode, self-retaliate and enter as 1 mode, end as 1 mode, self-instant cast 3, and release as 1 mode. Alright, command 2, 4 single target fire, in as 1 mode, 5 single target fire. Well, that stinks. So use this command twice to deal 0 damage and give yourself retaliate and instacast 3. Not good enough. Yeah, this kind of stinks. But it's a burst soul break. We shouldn't be expecting much anyway. Terra BSB2 is not good. Bart's BSB4 is fine because of his USB. Just being able to give himself end fire in case you have extra soul break to burn on an entruster is a very powerful thing for him. Zell BSB2 it's a BSB, and Lena BSB2 is just a healer BSB. So there's nothing exciting going on there. Gilgamesh LMR, low chance to double cast samurai abilities. Well, that's good for him. BSB4 is his M wind. Whatever. Hopefully they don't make that mistake for us. Let's make a banner entirely fire, and then add on a wind burst to it. Yeah, maybe a typo. Because that just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know about that Aurora. That seems like a lot of setup for not a lot of payoff. Like zero benefit pay setup. There's 0 damage going on those turns. Getting Instacast 3 does not forgive using ATB for no reason. ATB is another passage of time. You're not just making him take instant turns, you know? Now that would be nice, L-Man. Like, just uses BSB and hope that you get a dual cast? Then I'm more on board with that. Banner 3, we have 4 new 6 stars here. And we got some stuff for Cloud, Aerith, and Noctis. Cloud gets one of those not as good UOSBs, 10 single target or 20 single target range when physical damage and 1 single target overflow. Good that they gave him one of these because he would have been pretty obscene if he had one of the three hit OS or UOSBs. It is a plus wind sword though. I don't know which is which, but his UOSB and his USB 2 are wind sword and wind armor. So good, just because. And it's not like his UOSB is bad. It's just not as good as it could have been. Noctis UOSB, 3 single target overflow physical, 100% chance to deal critical damage. So that's 50% increased damage. Sub, it's 20 single target hits. That... Let me bring up what that actually means. I mean, his USB is fine. And it's great, but I think people overestimate the multiplier on 20 single hits. Who gets one? Who gets one that I can take a look at? Let's just take a look at Lightning. Ugh, I can't type Lightning. Army of 1. So, Blaze Rush OC. 20 single ranged, 0.4 each. The multiplier on these are very, very low. So, yeah, it works great with his USB. But it's not like this is going to do... It's not like that breaking damage cap thing that Cloud allows him is... If you can break the damage cap with one of these 0.4 attacks, awesome. You're not going to break it by much. So, at the very most, you're going to be hitting for about 300,000, which is the exact same thing as the 3-hit UOSBs. But this has a lower multiplier than that. In even this situation, it would be better to use the 3-hit UOSB. What these chains are for build... Or sorry, not... UOSBs are for is for building chains. Just don't think that you're going to be doing 20, you know, cap-breaking attacks. That's not going to happen. And if it is, that you probably paid a price so high that it wasn't worth it. You made a fun video. Kind of like the Orlando BSB combined with Cloud USB. It's a fun video. It's not really that practical. But again, 20 single target plus 1 overflow. It's for building a chain. So use it in that way. And we do see Zach's chain on here. So there you go. Alright, Noctis. 3 single target. And instead of him getting... what's the multiplier on this? I don't think we know because it's not... The banner hasn't launched yet. I honestly like this UOSB. Yeah, we don't have the multiplier yet. Because I don't know of many that get just a 50% damage boost just for casting it. It'll really depend on what that multiplier is. So it's kind of trying to make up for the fact that Noctis doesn't have access to an N element because he's non-elemental. It does scale with high critical if you got one of those, but Noctis is probably not going to be used on a team with one of those unless you throw in Chant. But then, you know, Chant at this point in the game, I don't know about that. There's probably better things that you could be doing for Noctis's damage. So that looks good for him. Moving on, we have Cloud's USB 2, 15 single target Wind, N-Wind, and X-Mode True Self. X-Mode True Self is attack plus 30% and chase wind abilities with a 4 or 8 single target overflow. Wind, non-elemental physical damage, number of hits chosen randomly. It sounds really good. Sounds really good. I don't know if the overflow is going to be worth anything. It'll depend on what the multiplier is. But regardless, it's going to be really good in Cloud's hands. He's going to want to use both his USBs together. So he gets plus 100% critical, you know, plus 30% damage, you know, N-Winds, and this LMR2 down here, low chance to double cast wind abilities. So if you also use his Burst Soul Break 2, this is a lot of Soul Break to use for one person. So I don't even know. Maybe you only use 2 of these at one time. I don't know the best combination. Anyway, this LMR makes his Burst Soul Break 2 really, really interesting because that's a 25% chance to dual cast wind abilities. His LM2 in his Legend Dive is a 35% chance to dual cast combat abilities. There is only one combat wind ability in the game available to Cloud, and that is his burst commands. So, the chance to double dual cast those burst commands means his Burst Soul Break 2 gains some extra life because of this. There is a 5-star wind quad strike, yes. He won't be able to use his LM2 with that. So he wouldn't be you'd be losing his Legend Dive for it, but that's kind of fine. You know, the issue with all of these good soul breaks for Cloud is he doesn't have, like, you would just have to bring a team full of Entrusters for him. Entrusters and quick casters. People that grant quick cast. Like Ignis or something. Anyway, yeah, Cloud gets so good that we have a first world problem in which, what do I do to cast all of these? Which is a good problem to have. Cloud turns into, well, he doesn't turn into, he just maintains his status as just a disgusting character. Next up is Aerith's USB 2, Zero Cast Time, Kiraga Medica, Party Quick Cast, Physical Quick Cast 3, and Last Stand. A really good USB. Kind kind of overshadowed by Alara's on the first banner, but still really good. Physical Quick Cast 3 is a really nice buff, and so is Last Stand. There's nothing wrong. There's no bad part about this USB. So that's pretty awesome. Zach's chain is the 5th 6-star in the banner. But that's a repeat. Though I would expect to see that here. I don't see what else fits on this banner other than that. Though Noctis UOSB might be transferred elsewhere. That's not required to be here at all. Since this is effectively a dual elemental banner for wind and non-elemental. Anyway, 2 flash arts. Thank goodness. Vindications, thank you very much for the follow. Thank goodness one of these flash arts takes a BSB slot, not an LMR slot. Noctis flash art is different from the others, kind of like Yuffie's. 0 cast time, self-stone skin 100%, and medium combat ability boost. That's a 30% increased damage on combat abilities. Good. Noctis kind of turns into the Omega Drive user that he is. Well, matures into a better Omega Drive user than he was. And I suppose the Self-Stone skin 100% is more of an apology for his USB, because Noctis's USB is really bad. The only function of it is to give him Stone Skin 100% to maintain the buff on his OSB. Now you don't have to do that. You don't have to waste an entire 500 soul break points. You can use 250 on an instacast flash art and give him a 30% damage boost while you're at it. This really is just, this flash art creeps out Noctis's USB. It just, yikes. It just goes to show how bad Noctis's USB was. Yay! The auto mod worked. Thank you, Ultima. So Noctis becomes a much better non-elemental damage dealer. Not the, kind of limited to his Burst Soul Break and Omega Drive guy that he is now. Burst Soul Break section, Cloud BSB 2. That better be here when we get this banner. Zac Burst. Good that it goes along with his chain, even though Zac has a celerity ability to use now. Noctis Burst, don't really need that anymore thanks to this banner, but it's still a nice pickup if you don't pick up Noctis's other things. In Iris BSB, which is always going to be good. Cloud LMR 2, low chance to double cast wind abilities. Yep, good. Aerith LMR. Is that dual cast? Yeah, it's dual cast. So that's good. And Noctis LMR, 25% chance to dual cast combat. So that's all good LMRs. Wow, look at the complete lack of new things on this banner. Well, we've got, what, Ice and Water? Titus UOSB, Squall UOSB, Riku Chain. So Riku is the next holder of the Water Chain. Still no Mage Water users, or Mage Chains, but that's okay, because Titus's is good enough to make up for it. Here is definitely an example of, here's a new chain that I would not want as much as I would want a current chain. I will take Titus's over this any day of the week, because Riku is not Titus. And Titus's has Quick Cast 2 on it. I just would much prefer that. Riku's Legend Dive is preposterous. She really would just use this and use blank Sapphire shots. That's it. Because Riku is supposed to be a machinist celerity buffer, but her water ability to use with this chain is a sharpshooter, which works Doesn't work at all with her LMR, her Legend Dive, nothing. They didn't even give her an LMR 2, they gave her M Water. That would have fixed the problems. That would have made her like Seifer, which is fine. But Riku is just a bad holder for this chain because of the lack of those things. Snow Chain and Titus USB. So this is a good water banner. Good ice banner. Squall's UOSB is one of those 3-hit blast you out of the water, 300,000 damage dudes. Flash arts belong to Titus and Squall, both good. This is really the Titus and Squall banner, which is weird because this is the new relic. Squall BSB2, Titus BSB2, Riku BSB2, which isn't good by the way. Snow's BSB, Ice Armor. That's nice to find in the Burst Soul Break section. I will not complain with that. Squall LMR, start battle with an Ice. Titus LMR, start battle with them Water. Riku LMR is crap. Last banner, we have some new stuff here. Nice, 4 new things to go over. I really like this banner. I like this banner because it bolsters Magical Lightning, which needed it, and it makes Tifa a good character. Because she gets a really nice USB too. So starting off, we have Tifa's UOSB, 3 single target. That's the UOSB we want to see. Next up, Ash UOSB, 3 single target. That is just like the difference between physical OSBs and magical OSBs now. Mage UOSBs for 3 single target, boom. They're really awesome. And next up, we have Garnet. Garnet gets the Lightning Chain, and we do finally get a Mage Chain. Activate Lightning Chain, Party Magic, 50%. That is the first time that we have seen that as a party buff. So, yeah, Garnet and Ash are like 2 peas in a pod, 2 princesses in a pod. And really can dish out a whole ton of lightning damage. And moving on, we have Tifa's USB 2, 10 single target, Earth Non-Elemental, and Earth, self attack and defense plus 30%, and Monk ability double. That is a good USB. It stinks that I don't believe we got a new Monk Earth ability. We don't have a Fires Within version for Earth Monks, but Monk ability double says okay. I don't care. Tifa's USB 2 is very good. So, and Ash's USB is pulling up the rear. It's still very, very good in the future as well. This is a really cool banner. Honestly, yeah, I'll talk about my favorites in the festival afterwards. Tifa flash art and then Ash flash art. So Tifa gets self-medium monk ability boost and increased striker mode. Okay, so this is an interesting flash art. It's not the typical 0 cast time and lightning stack thing. So monk ability boost is a 30% damage boost, which is damn good. And increase striker mode up to 3. Self-reduce cast time up to 3 stages. So honestly, I think this is really cool. This is a really, really cool concept because of the way Tifa was played in Final Fantasy VII. It's like thematically correct that Tifa would be someone you want to feed some soul break to so she can go into striker mode and stack her striker modes and then just start going nuts with monk ability doubles on her USB too. I kind of really like this. I don't know how practical it's going to be. And, you know, maybe you do just use it once. Give yourself a 30% monk ability boost. Maybe that's fine. But the option for potentially reducing your cast time so significantly that it makes it worth using these flash arts, okay. Well, it remains to be seen if it's worth stacking them, but at least it's a good single cast. Ash Flash Art's obviously really good. Tifa BSB1? Wow. I suppose that's for people that want plus 10 attack on Tifa. Good evening, Rainmaker. Garnet's BSB2 is a Lightning Staff. Not going to complain with that. Aphmau BSB. Don't think anyone's going to complain with that. Selfie BSB2. What does Selfie's BSB2 do? I remember looking over it, and I don't know if I was happy with it or not. Gives party resistance plus 100%, and I'm assuming the commands are instant cast and Medica. Yeah, instant cast and Medica. So, how do I feel about that? Resistance plus 100%? Not bad at all, actually. Is it gonna push out, you know, other mages or other white mages with their bursts? Probably not. I don't know. This was probably nothing to write home about. And there's nothing else for Selfie on this banner, so it's doubly weird. Anyway, LMR section. Garnet, LMR 2. Low chance to additionally heal party a small amount when using Bard abilities. That is pretty good. Just like Alara's and Sarah's. Garnet does have access to Bard 6. Which means she can Allegro Con Moto and Ash. Which is a pretty nice thing. And potentially heal the party. Tifa's LMR 2 is an Earth, very good. Ash LMR is N Lightning, very good. It's a good banner. So, first evaluation, Japan's Festival. I like banners 1 and 5. They're my favorites of the festival. This is the Gilgamesh fans banner. The Cloud has some really powerful stuff on here. But I'm just not sold on Noctis. And Aerith is good. I couldn't complain with getting Aerith's USB 2, but yeah, it is Solus, and Ash's LMR is also plus lightning armor. Bracer too. Now for debuts, stuff that's relevant to us. Banner 3 is solid regardless. Yeah. Probably have to be 3 and 5. One is pretty good. But it's weird that I do like Ramda's Chain. But I think this is just superpowers. So 3 and 5 for debuts. I don't know how relevant any of this is going to be for when it comes to us, but we'll at least have a lot of notice in figuring it out. But if I were to pull right now, it would be banner 1 and 5. Tifa gets good in a hurry. Maybe Kupo. It does debut during the festival previous to this, so, you know, maybe it appears on a really good banner. And you're okay with getting, like, a dupe of it or something. The banner may be that good. It's probably a bad dupe. It's probably a book. I mean, you can hope against dupes, but you can't hope against bad banners. Or hope against good banners. It may appear on a really good banner for 3rd anniversary. Who knows? I think it's safe to assume that these two will appear together due to story concerns, because at this point in the game we're going to have access to the little Tyro side quest thing that actually turns Record Keeper into an attempt at being an RPG instead of just an ATB simulator. LMR2. If you were able to obtain Tifa's LMR2 off of the current banner, I'd be happy with that. It's plus Earth armor, so it makes a good dupe, and it will be good in the future in case you don't get it. Other than that, not really. Crystal water? Oh, okay. Japan. You know, that's kind of what's funny about this. They're trying to dial back the strength of Onion Knight, I think. Not now. In Japan, yes. Alright, so now that I've kind of gotten to the end of this, I do want to offer the disclaimer again. This stuff is very far away. We are in the midst of a pretty good festival right now that gives us access to chains that will be good for a very long time, and they will still be good at this point in the game. Don't let stuff this far away blind you from what you need in the here and now. If anything, though, if there's something that can have an effect on the way we see the game right now, it's maybe this, knowing that a not so good holder on the water chain, on the second water chain, making kind of improving the value of Titus's current chain. Know that all of you Ash USB users out there, that pulled for stuff on the Final Fantasy XII banner and got it, there is a bright future for that character. No Earth Chain. It's fair, yeah. Or yeah, people want our USB because it's not guaranteed, but it did appear here for Japan. No Ice Chain. True. Renoa's chain would be a very big pickup. It just, as far as like my assessments of the current banners go, it didn't change anything. Like any chain soul break with quick cast 2 to party is going to be very, very powerful for a very long time. And because there is no new ice chain, then yeah, Snows does have value. It's an investment, since he doesn't have a way of dealing ice damage when you first get the chain. And, you know, that's another takeaway from this being so far into the future. Yeah, Riku stinks for us right now, but there may be a Final Fantasy X event coming, you know, within the next seasonal cycle after this that makes Riku really good. Gilgamesh Chain better than Locks? I would say so, yes, Koopa. Unless we find out that they make debuffs actually do something against 5-star Magicite, then Locks is actually pretty sick. Where's Aerith fall now? It's only physical quick cast. Oh, that's tough. None of her other stuff is really any good. She's just good because of the LMR in her LM2. So LMR, LM2, Aerith with USB 2. It is a really good USB. I just don't know whether I'd put her in A or an S. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the best thing you can say about it, Kupo. Is Aerith is limited where Alara is not. Yeah, definitely Dawn. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention this, did I? Ugh. Alara's LM2 is medium chance to double cast white magic abilities, so 35% chance to dual cast. Did I not mention that? I'm sorry if I didn't. In case you weren't blown away enough. Thank you very much, Jimbo.
Thanks for the preview. Sharp charity.
Gilgamesh, with his LM2, gets a trance mode. And they needed to do this. He goes into morphin time. Self full heal, protect shell and haste and enter Gilgamesh trance once per battle. Self defense, attack, and resistance plus 30% and high quick cast. And it is probably a 25-second chase. Trance. Like all the other trances. So, yeah, Gilgamesh has an extremely good legend dive. Yes, you. On the 30th. We actually got the same thing in the last festival, you. Right? Or was it the one before that? Where they gave us a weak version of a Crystal Tower type deal and then a stronger version.